Hey everybody, Crow here. We're back with more Dungeons and Dumpster Fires. Sorry, we kind of missed an episode this week. Just people's work schedules weren't really matching up. Demon Tamer, unfortunately, is not with me here again today. He is sick, so send him your best wishes. Hope he gets better soon. So that's just me. Deal with it. It's fine. I know you guys love me. Today, we're going to build a Polearm master. This is a request I got from my friend Dylan. So we're going to build a Polearm master. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do things a little differently today. We're going with the point buy. However, this one is not going to be a human of any kind. This is going to be a bugbear. This is from Volo's Guide to Monsters. This is from the Monstrous Adventurers section. Bugbears are playable. And if you're not familiar with bugbears, all will become clear soon. So let's go ahead. First, let's name our character. Let's give him an appropriately bugbearish name. We're going to call him Stabstick. Because that's really, when it comes down to it, that's what, that's what spears are. This will be able to use spears, but it's going to focus more on polearms. So yeah, just Stabstick McGee. That's his name. We're gonna go straight fighter for this. Fighter is gonna be a level 20 fighter all the way through. No multi-classing. We have our race, which is bugbear. Background. Now, really, with this, background doesn't matter so much. So. We're just going to go, we're going to go with a soldier background. We're going to make him chaotic neutral, because again, alignment doesn't really matter here. You can go with whatever you want. Our player name, of course, is Raven's Nest Entertainment, in this case. He's got all the experience. Okay, so, equipment-wise, we're just going to go with what the fighter starts with. We're not going to take into account magical items or stuff that might be found later. We're just building the skills and stats at this point, or the abilities and stats, because again, skill proficiencies aren't going to matter so much here. Let me get a +6. So we're going with point buy again. We've got a little bit more of a spread. So let me go ahead and just bring up the D&D wiki here, and we're just gonna grab a new tab here. We're gonna take a look at bugbears, and you're gonna see why we're picking this. So they get a +2 to their strength and +1 to dexterity. They're a medium-sized creature. They have the basic walking speed of 30 feet. They come with 60 feet of dark vision, which is nice. Now here's where we start looking at stuff that's going to help this build. Long-limbed. When you make a melee attack on your turn, your reach for it is 5 feet greater than normal. Polearms already have 10 feet of reach. They already increase your reach to 10 feet. So this is going to give us 15 feet of reach with our polearm. Powerful build. This one's not as important, but if you have a DM who's a real stickler for weights and carrying capacity, this is going to let this character wear the heavy armor and carry the heavy weapons. Powerful build. You count as one size larger when determining your carrying capacity and the weight you can push, drag, or lift. Sneaky, you're proficient with the stealth skill. Now, this is pretty much usually going to be covered by the rogue, maybe the bard or ranger. But if you are playing this character and you have a situation where you've got a great stealth opportunity to open up an attack, proficiency and stealth skill is going to help. They also get surprise attack. If you surprise a creature and hit it with an attack on your first turn in combat, the attack deals an extra 2d6 damage to it. You can use this trait only once per combat. So that's going to go in line with our sneaky ability. That's 2d6 damage on top of the polearm damage. And then our languages, you can speak, read, and write Common and Goblin. That's not quite so important there. So we've got all these. We're just going to grab these. We're going to toss these into our character sheet. We're just going to stick these down here. So we've got that +2 strength, +1 dexterity. So with point buy, we're going with a, and this is before modifiers, we're going to go with that 15 strength, because polearms is primarily strength weapons. We got our 13 dexterity because we do want a bit of an initiative bonus. Constitution, we want to be able to take those hits. That's going to be a 15. It's okay if we're a little dumb. I think 8 is actually more like average until 6 to 8 is somewhere around average. We're perception, always a good thing to have. We're not going to be too great on it, but we want to be decent. And then we're going to take an 8 for charisma. It's not really going to matter a whole lot. I mean, we're going to take a hit on intimidation checks, but I mean, if all else fails, we're a bugbear and we have a polearm. Let's just attack. So now with our +2 to strength, this is actually going to become a 17, and our dexterity is going to become a 14 with that +1 to dexterity. So I believe this is going to be a +3 modifier. This is a reasonable +2. This is also a reasonable +2 for our health. This is going to be a -1. We'll just put these right here. Again, we're not going to worry about our skills here, because we're not really looking at the skill proficiency, so we're not going to bother with that in this video. You take, if you play this character, take whatever you want. You don't even have to take the soldier background. You don't even have to take the chaotic neutral alignment. We're mostly looking at the combat-oriented build here. This is a combat-oriented character for sure. We're not going to worry about the hit points. That's going to be determined by your dice rolls, or if you just take the straight up, I think it's just a base 6 plus your con bonus. So we're not going to worry about that. We are going to have like 20 of these D10s, though, for our hit dice. Now, with fighters, starting off, like I said, we are going to use the starting gear here. So, what do we start off with? Chainmail or leather, a longbow, and 20 arrows? Well, I think, honestly, the chainmail is just fine. So, let's see, what else do we got here? We could take a martial weapon and a shield, or 2 martial weapons. Probably going to sell that shield because we're using a polearm. So, I think all polearms pretty much do the same amount of damage. It's just personal preference here. Let's see, what do we got here? We have our glaive. We have, let's see, we got our halberd. Those are both 1d10 slashing. Let's see, what else do we have for polearms? We have a pike, which is 1d10 piercing. Pike is actually the cheapest one here. But we get any one of these for free starting out. So I say, personally, I like the halberd or the glaive. Let's make this guy a glaive fighter. You know, they both cost the same amount of money, do the same amount of damage, and they weigh the same. Let's just go ahead and take a glaive. We're going to take a glaive. That is not how you spell that. I'm always so good at typing. Okay, so that's going to be 1d10 plus 3 because of our strength. And for our attack bonus at level 20, that's going to be plus 9 to hit. Oops, plus 9 to hit. Which is pretty respectable. We're going to sell that shield. We're not going to worry too much about that. What else do we get here? We get a light crossbow and 20 bolts, or 2 hand axes. We'll probably take the crossbow here. And then Dungeoneer's pack or Explorer's pack. Doesn't matter which one you take. Now, here's where things do matter again. Our fighting style. We're going to take great weapon fighting because we're wielding this with 2 hands. When you roll a 1 or a 2 on a damage die for an attack you make with a melee weapon that you are wielding with 2 hands, you can re-roll the die and must use a new roll even if the new roll is a 1 or 2. The weapon must have the 2-handed or versatile property for you to gain this benefit. Well, polearms are 2-handed, so yeah, so that's going to give us a nice little bonus to re-roll our damage. So we're gonna slap that right there. Now, we're gonna we're going to get that at level 1. Since we're not multi-classing at all, we're not going to get any other character feats, but we are going to get all the fighter stuff. And for our fighting archetype, our martial archetype, we're going to go with Battle Master. So, and by level 20, you're going to get about 9 of these combat maneuvers, which are really nice. There's 4, I think, that fit really well for the Battle Master. Let's look at the other stuff we get, though, at level 20. I'm going to go all the way back up here. We get our second wind. That's our little self-heal. Not for a whole lot, but you know what? And it doesn't... The downside of second wind is it doesn't improve as you get higher level. So... But it can help, We have our action surge, which is going to give us an extra action on top of our regular action and bonus action. By the time we get to 17th level, we can use action surge twice, but still only once on the same turn. But still, during a big hefty combat, you never know when you might need a couple rounds with an extra turn. So we're going to get that twice. Our archetype is going to be Battle Master. We'll get to that in a second. As a fighter, we get a bunch of ability score improvements. Normally, a class will only get about 5. They get them at 4th level, 8th level, 12th level, 16th, and 19th. The fighter gets 2 extras on top of that. They get one at 6th and one at 14th level as well. Really nice. So we're going to get we're going to be able to take a lot of feats and a lot of ability score increases here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. And at least 4 of those I think are going to be feats. So at level 5 we get our extra attack. Beginning at 5th level you can attack twice instead of once whenever you take the attack action on your turn. The number of attacks increases to 3 when you reach 11th level and 4 when you reach 20th level. So yeah, we're going to get a lot of attacks with this character. Indomitable, that we get that at level 9. You can reroll a saving throw that you fail. If you do so, you must use the new roll, and you can't use this feature again until you finish a long rest. You can use this feature twice between long rests at 13th level and 3 times between long rests at 17th level. That's more of a defensive thing, but it shouldn't be discounted. So let's look at what we got for Battle Master. We got our maneuvers. We have superiority dice to use with these maneuvers. You start with 3 when you pick this up. You can only use 1 maneuver per attack, though, but you learn 2 additional maneuvers of your choice at 7th, 10th, and 15th levels, and each time you learn new maneuvers, you can also replace a maneuver with a different one. So, like I said, there's 4 that I feel you should always have, and then the other 5 can just gonna be whatever you want. You can switch them out, as you like, whatever works for you. You're going to use your 4 superiority dice, which are d8s, whenever you do a maneuver. You get them all back when you finish a short or long rest, and you get another superiority dice at level 7, and another one after that at level 15. Saving throws. Some of your maneuvers require your targets to make a saving throw to resist the maneuver's effects. Your maneuver save DC, it's just like a spellcaster spell save DC, 8 plus your proficiency bonus, plus the appropriate modifier for your spellcasting, or in this case, strength or dexterity. This is a strength-based character, so we want the higher one, so we're definitely going to add strength there. And then 3rd level, you gain proficiency with 1 type of arts and tool of your choice, whatever you want, not important for this character. Level 7, you get Know Your Enemy. At 7th level, if you spend 1 minute observing or interacting with another creature outside of combat, you can learn certain information about its capabilities compared to your own. The DM tells you if the creature is equal, superior, or inferior in regards to 2 of the following characteristics of your choice. Their strength, their dexterity, their constitution, their armor class, their hit points, current hit points, not total, their total class levels, if any, and their total fighter class levels, if any. That can be helpful. Let's see. We got improved combat superiority at level 10. Your superiority dice turns into a D10 when you reach 18. It turns into a D12. Also very nice. At 15, Relentless. Starting at level 15, whenever you roll for initiative and have 0 superiority dice, you get 1 back. Again, very helpful. So these are all our maneuvers. There's a lot of maneuvers here. The ones I feel this character should definitely have: lunging attack, sweeping attack, precision attack, and evasive footwork. And then, like I said, 5 more of your choice as the situation dictates. Evasive footwork: when you move on your turn, you can expend a superiority dice. These are all going to expend superiority dice, excuse me. So I'm not going to repeat that part each time. Whatever you roll, you add that to your total AC until you stop moving. So that's a nice defensive one. Let's see, we've got lunging attack. When you make a melee attack on your turn, use your dice to increase your reach for that attack by 5 feet. If you hit, you add the number that you rolled to the attack's damage roll. So that's going to give us more reach and more damage. We've got, let's see, I said precision attack. When you make an attack roll against a creature, you can use this maneuver before or after making the attack roll. So this is going to boost up your attack roll. So if you roll your attack and you rolled really low, you just say, "Oh, I'm going to use precision attack," and add that to my attack roll. You can use this before or after making your attack roll, but before any effects of the attack are applied. So basically, if you saw you didn't hit, roll your dice, add that. Maybe now you hit, and then you apply your damage. And if you're using a magical weapon or whatnot, apply anything from the magical weapon, like if you've got a flame tongue or whatever. And then finally, sweeping attack. This is basically our cleave. When you hit a creature with a melee weapon, you can attempt to damage another creature with the same attack. Choose another creature within 5 feet of the original target and within your reach. Well, we're going to have at least 15 feet of reach. If the original attack roll would hit the second creature, it takes damage equal to the number that you roll on your die, your superiority die. The damage is of the same type dealt by the original attack. So that's our nice cleave. So those 4 I think will be most helpful for this character. Go ahead and just grab these, put on our character sheet. So we've got them there. We're going to put them down here. I don't know why that went so far out. I'm not going to bring up the wiki just yet. Go back to that in a second. But I think these are really, in my opinion, the best for a polearm master. If you're using a polearm, something with reach, I mean, even if it's just a spear or, well, specifically something with reach, but I mean, these are really good with like any heavy weapons when it comes down to it. And I mean, heck, evasive footwork is just a great maneuver for characters that are maybe a little more light on their feet too, maybe not wearing heavy armor. So we've got those. Now let's go ahead and look at our feats. So we've got our feats here. We're not going to throw everything in the feats, but there are a few feats that I think will be very beneficial. The first being alert. You can't be surprised while you're unconscious. That's pretty good. +5 to initiative. And other creatures don't gain advantage on attack rolls against you as a result of being unseen by you. So, if we want to go first with this character, I think this is an excellent one to have. So, we're actually running out of room to put things. So, we'll put alert. Yeah, we'll just we can make a little more room here. Okay. So, alert, our first feat. We don't have to take it immediately, but it's definitely one we want to pick up. Absolutely, there's definitely a few combat-oriented feats that we definitely want to grab. Great Weapon Master. Why wouldn't you take this as a polearm user? You know, you've learned to put everything in a selected window, apparently. You learn to put the weight of the weapon on your advantage, letting its momentum empower your strikes. You gain the following benefits. On your turn, when you score a critical hit with a melee weapon or reduce a creature to 0 hit points with a critical hit, You can make one melee attack as a bonus action. I think that's pretty nice. We also have, before you make a melee attack with a heavy weapon that you are proficient with, you can choose to take a -5 penalty to the attack roll. If the attack hits, you add +10 damage to the attacker's damage. So this takes a little bit from the sharpshooter feat. Actually, it takes exactly from the sharpshooter feat, but applies it to heavy weapons. Again, polearms are heavy weapons. I don't see why you wouldn't take this. So we're going to slap that down there. And we are out of room. That's fine. We'll put some over here in the other proficiencies in language. We're not using that section right now. So, a couple other feats I think would be good to have. These are going to be more. These are more specific to weapons. If I can get down there. Okay. So we want to grab Polearm Master. That's the whole point of this build, right? Why wouldn't you take Polearm Master? This is a must-have. So, when you take the attack action and attack only with a glaive, halberd, quarterstaff, or spear, you can use a bonus action to make a melee attack with the opposite end of the weapon. This attack uses the same ability modifier as the primary weapon. The weapon's damage die for this attack is D4, and the attack deals bludgeoning damage. So, it's not a lot of damage, but it is a bonus attack with a two-handed heavy weapon. Combine that with your extra attacks, you're gonna get a lot of attacks. Also, when you're wielding a glaive, halberd, pike, quarterstaff, or spear, other creatures provoke an opportunity attack from you when they enter the reach you have with that weapon, which is gonna be 15 feet, because we're a bugbear. Again, pretty awesome. So, another one I was actually looking at, which I really like a lot for this, and this one's kind of defensive. We're going to take Sentinel. When you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, the creature's speed becomes 0 for the rest of the turn. Creatures provoke opportunity attacks from you even if they take the disengage action before leaving your reach, 15 feet. Have fun with that. When a creature within 5 feet of you makes an attack against a target other than you, and that target doesn't have this feat, you can use a reaction with a melee weapon attack against the attacking creature. That's more attacks, and you get to protect your friends. Again, this is more of a tanking skill, and we are going to make a tank character later on at some point. Oh, we don't have room there for all of this. Oh no. So little room. It's okay. You know what? We're just going to put Sentinel right there. So, what else do we have? I mean, we can take other feats for sure. But why not buff up our ability scores a bit? That's 4 feats. We get 7. So why don't we take 3 of those as ability score modifiers? You know, again, why wouldn't you? So you know what? We're gonna take one of those. We're gonna buff one up to 19. That's gonna be a +4. And then you know, it really kind of depends. If you want to be a little beefier, maybe slap one of those modifiers into Constitution. I don't know if that picked up on my mic. It is wonderful weather here. I just heard thunder, but that's nice. So, and then we've got one more ability score increase. Now, the cool thing about ability score increases is it doesn't have to be a +2 to something. It could be +1 to 2 ability scores. So let's just make this 18 Constitution. Let's make our strength an even 20. Whoops. I'm hitting the wrong keys. There we go. +5. So now, 1d10 +5, just base. And we're going to have a +11 to our attack bonus. Plus we have all our maneuvers, and we have our feats to add on to that. You know, we've got Polearm Master, so we've got that extra attack. So that's 1d4 plus 5 on top of the 1d10 plus 5 if we hit. That's a lot of damage. They're going to need, whatever you hit is going to need a lot of flex tape or flex seal to heal that damage. I totally just memed. Sorry, not sorry. But yeah, I mean, look at all this stuff. You know, on top of the stuff you get just as a fighter, and we're going all the way fighter. We took chainmail. That's going to be, our armor class isn't going to be that great. Only 16, but I mean, by the time you're level 20, you're probably going to have plate mail, maybe even some magical plate mail. So that's going to boost your armor class. So, you know, it's not that bad. Maybe, you know, if you're a little worried about your survivability, maybe you replace one of those ability score increases or one of those feats with tough or heavy armor mastery, which, you know, I think that reduces your the damage taken by 3 from non-magical sources. Let's see. That's what I had on one of my characters before. Yeah, heavy armor master. You have to be proficient with heavy armor, of course. You increase your strength by 1. So maybe instead of that last ability score increase, maybe we just take heavy armor master. We get the +1 strength anyway. And while you're wearing heavy armor, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage you take from non-magical weapons is reduced by 3. The problem with this one is it's great early on, but by the time you're level 20, I don't think it really holds up that well. -3 damage. I mean, a lot of stuff is, you know, I mean, you're still going to get hit by physical sources, but a lot of stuff is also going to be doing magical damage to you too. So, I like Heavy Armor Master, but I don't feel like it holds up very well in the long run. It's great early on, but it definitely loses steam, you know, later on too. So, but you know, it's up to you. You know, make adjustments as you like. But this is what we've got. We're gonna have, you know, +2 to our actually +7 to our initiative because we've got the alert feat with his. So, you know, this is our build. This is our Polearm Master. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you want to see more of these videos, or more of any of our videos at all, just click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And click that little bell so you get notifications when we've got a new video up or when we go live. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.